From Hollywood, time once again for Money TV. I'm Don Baillargeon. Thanks for joining us. Money TV is the program all about money and what makes it happen. Well, if someone from the federal government were to knock on your door this week and present you with an invoice for $138,330, what would you do? Slam the door, laugh in his face, recoil in shock? Well, I hope you're sitting down, because if you're a working American, that's your share of the national debt, which just recently surpassed the $21.5 trillion mark. $21.5 trillion. Now, while our elected officials in Washington are feigning outrage over whether drinking beer in college is proof of a history of sexual misconduct, on each day which has gone by, the federal government with which we entrusted them continued to spend a lot more money than they took in. Your personal share of this debt is now $138,330, or about $8 grand more than it was last year. And it's showing no sign of stopping. Now, if the federal government were to stop borrowing money today and started to pay down the $21.5 trillion debt at the princely rate of, say, $1 million per hour, how long would it take to pay off? $21.5 trillion at $1 million per hour, 24 hours per day, 365 days per year. 10 years, 20, maybe 50 years? Paying down $21.5 trillion at $1 million per hour, 24 hours per day, 365 days per year would take nearly 2,500 years to accomplish. And that doesn't even take the interest into account. 2,500 years. Of all things Congress and the puppet media get outraged over, why isn't the staggering national debt one of them? Why aren't more Americans outraged over this? Well, I'll tell you why. Because nobody's knocking on your door telling you that as a working American, you owe $138,330. At least, not yet anyway. Now, here's something you don't have to worry about owing. It's a toll-free call, good from anywhere in the world you're watching the program. 888-259-4449. That's to get free information about our featured guests. When you do call, be sure and ask to be added to the subscription list of our Money TV newsletter. Again, 888-259-4449. Visit us at MoneyTV.net. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Well, our first guest this week is joining us direct from New York City, Mr. Ajene Watson. He is the CEO of a company called Digital Asset Monetary Network. Their stock symbol is DATI. Ajene, welcome back to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back, Don.
Now, Digital Asset Monetary Network describes itself as a company which puts everyday investors on a level playing field with large angel investors. Can you give us a general overview of the company, please?
Sure. Digital Asset Monetary Network is a specialized accelerator. We do not claim to be a typical accelerator whereby we take startup companies or development stage companies and put them into a cohort or a semester and give them mentorships and help them raise money at the end of the semester. What we do is we look to focus on accelerating capital formation for those startups and early development stage companies. The way we do that is by bringing more opportunity to the private investor, giving them liquidity in those private investments without them losing any of that equity. And what we find in doing that, there's more money available for the startups and development stage companies to continue building their businesses. And that allows us to be an add-on to an accelerator versus a competitor to an accelerator. And that's really that's the basis of our business model. Everything around that is to make it work, but the basis is to accelerate capital formation.
Well, it's truly a fascinating business model. What events led you to develop it?
Just my history, my background. That I've been working with the inside of the microcap market since I was recruited in 2001 to 2, working on providing lending products, working on providing various types of financing products, and then eventually I became a business development management consultant. And that occurred because, I think I mentioned this to you before, my mother had a problem with me just making money and not contributing back to society. But the only way I figured I can do that was to still do it within the field that I was most comfortable, and that was in finance. And what we found was that a lot of the companies that we were financing and investing in, they were not doing well. And it wasn't our business to see them do well. Our business was to turn over money, to turn over capital for our funds. But when you're taking an approach as a business management consultant, you are more focused on the shareholders long term, the company long term. And that made a big difference to me. And the education I got from that was major. And I found very quickly that it was very difficult to build a company in the microcap space. And creating this company, the Digital Asset Monetary Network, as a specialized accelerator, is my answer to all of the difficulties and challenges that I've faced over the last 8 years.
Can we role play for a minute? Walk us through a typical interaction with an everyday investor wanting to explore opportunities.
Sure. Our setup is not one where we talk to everyday people, everyday investors ongoingly every day, right? There's hopefully millions of them that are going to be part of our community. But what we do and what we're beginning to do is allowing these investors to participate in the vetting process. So the way we communicate with them is they're able to, if you're a shareholder or if you're investing on one of our platforms, our crowdfunding platforms, whether it's TrueCrowd or Fundana or Crypto Launch, you're able to participate in the vetting of that company prior to it going on to the platforms. Specifically speaking, our client companies, when I say our, I'm talking about Digital AMN, Digital Asset Monetary Network. We sign on companies, they become client companies, and in that process, we review those companies and say, hey, this is a great company to put onto the TrueCrowd platform. That part of the process, we're allowing the everyday person to participate in. Because why shouldn't they have the opportunity to see these companies very early on and help us make a decision as to whether or not they're going to be viable opportunities for the rest of the world to invest in.
Well, Ajene, from a growth perspective, where do you see the company over the next year?
I probably feel more comfortable speaking over the next 2 years. I believe that next year in 2019, we will likely be able to sign on 60 companies. Even if we were able to do 100, we probably want to focus on 60 good companies, 60 companies that are backed by well-heeled, savvy investors that we put onto our platform. But keep in mind, every client company that we sign has a immediate revenue value of about $50,000 to us, $1,000 if you will. And each one of those then goes off and raises capital, hopefully to the tune of about $1 million each one. And every $1 million or every dollar raised in our crowdfunding platforms is about $2 of asset value to the platform itself. So in 2020, what I'm looking at there is us having, between the 2 years, having done over 150 companies, raising $100+ million for those companies, keeping our platforms in the top 10, as we already are in the top 10, and delivering a significant amount of asset value to Digital Asset Monetary Network.
The company recently repurchased stock which had been issued as part of an acquisition. Can you detail the reasons for this move?
Sure. Being that I have the background I have in the microcap space, one thing I understand is dilution. I understand dilution, I understand toxicity, I understand the perception of those things. And what we want to do is, even where we are making acquisitions using both cash and stock, which is the way it's usually done, right? But when you're in a microcap space, it's horrible to investors to see that that stock is out there. So our stock is somewhat depressed right now in terms of value, where we were trading at $1 and change some time ago. We're down in the 50, 60 cent range. And so one might say, well, why are you buying this stock back now when they can, use it in the open market? And we're saying because we believe that our stock is much more valuable. And so why let this group have the opportunity to dilute the market, whether they're diluting it today or diluting it when the stock is at $2 and $3, when we can control that dilution and the perception of toxicity by just taking it out the market, even if it's costing us $1 a share. I think that's a very healthy way to look at making acquisitions and look at protecting our shareholders from unwanted dilution, unnecessary toxicity.
Once again, Digital Asset Monetary Network, DATI is the stock symbol. Jenny, why is this a good time right now for people to take a closer look at your company?
Because of what's going on in the world. I mean, take a look at what's happening in all the various communities. You know, there's a socio-economic depression, and there's a lack of financial literacy. And until people change that, they're not going to be able to better their circumstances. And what we aim to do is provide folks with that opportunity. Of course, you want people to look at, let me just make it clear, first and foremost, Don, what I'm looking to do these days is not promote DATI, as in, hey, buy our stock, because that's not going to help the average everyday person better their circumstances. What I'm looking to do is promote, hey, take a look at the companies and the people that are investing in these companies and the opportunity to be part of those companies early on. You finally get a chance to be part of a Snapchat early or part of a Uber early when it's actually affordable, where you only have to spend $10 to do so. That's what's important here. Does that benefit DATI? Of course it does, because each one of those companies is part of our portfolio. But if we do not promote good, strong financial literacy and provide opportunity, our stock is not going to do well anyway. So I'm not on the campaign trail to promote our stock. I'm on the campaign trail to ensure that people have an opportunity to know that they can better their financial circumstances and be part of the conversation on what company becomes the next big tech opportunity.
Stock symbols DATI, Digital Asset Monetary Network. A terrific interview with Jenny. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Don.
Joining us now on the phone is Michael Markwell. Michael is the general manager of OKTV, which is a subsidiary of Pure Spectrum Incorporated. PSRU is their stock symbol. Michael, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Don. Glad to be here.
Well, you and I have known each other for a long time, but I wanted to learn a little bit more about OKTV. Tell us about it.
Okay, OKTV, we launched several months ago. We can be found on Roku, apps for any mobile phones, smart TVs. The website is MyOKTV, and it'll show you the different platforms that we're on. What's kind of neat, when we introduced our app less than 2 months ago, we was already at 2 million downloads. So we're doing something right. Now, our programming, it's all family-friendly, from grandma to the grandson and granddaughter. You can watch and be entertained with no worries about seeing anything that's going to be offensive. Even reality shows, we don't allow anything that's going to make fun of, ridicule, political statements, nothing like that. Right now, the programming consists of classic television, classic movies, and original content. In the original content, most of it is very inspiring stuff. And we're also very, very friendly for the independent producer. Now, as you said earlier, I've been in this business. We met each other about 20 years ago or so, and I've been in the business on both sides of the fence as a producer, as a producer's rep, as a program director, as a sales manager, as an account executive. And something like OKTV has been needed for a long time to be very, very producer-friendly, because it is so hard for a producer to take his product to market. It can take years, if ever, for a network or any platform to pick up your show. Now, what we do is we host events like on a bi-monthly basis, and at these events we invite producers, celebrities, actors, advertisers, potential investors, and put them in a very friendly environment so they can talk amongst themselves to see if they can find a fit. And we'll get it on the air. We're offering a platform for the independent producer.
It's a remarkable business model, far cry from what we're used to in Hollywood. Again, the stock symbol is PSRU, Pure Spectrum Incorporated. Michael, thanks so much for the update.
Okay, you take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Have you heard the news? There's only one flat-fee news distribution network on the market. It's called Access Wire, and it's exclusively from Issuer Direct. Any day, anytime, the Access Wire News Network can deliver your press release to more than 1,500 media outlets in 98 countries. Access Wire also delivers real-time engagement analytics. You will learn who read and shared your press release and more. Best news of all, getting started is easy. Visit accesswire.com and extend your company's news reach today.
Hi, I'm Kevin Harrington. On Shark Tank, we always look for the next big thing. Today, it's digital currencies like Bitcoin. But everyone wants to know, is it real and how do I get started? Yes, it's real, and the best way to start is setting up your free digital wallet with singlepoint.com. They make it easy to buy, use, and store digital currencies without banks or debit and credit cards. Use promo code SING for your free wallet and informative newsletter. That's singlepoint.com.
We are back. Thanks for staying with us. Joined now direct from Phoenix by Mr. Greg Lambrecht. Greg is the CEO of Single Point Incorporated, stock symbols SING. Greg, welcome back to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me, Don.
Well, exciting week last week, what with the debut of the Kevin Harrington commercial. How's that going for you so far?
Wow, it went over great. People who saw the commercial, it was just first class, and we really got a lot of new investors, and we had a nice volume and stock increase, and most importantly, we really got a lot of people to sign up. So we were very excited about how it turned out, and of course, we've got more commercials lined up in the future.
So the intent of the campaign was to get people to sign up and download the app, and that's working.
Yeah, absolutely. And the big picture is once we've hit a critical mass, we're going to start our campaign of contacting the dispensaries and letting them know that we have plenty of users that have Bitcoin stored on their phone, their wallet. So we're very excited about the project.
So that's really key, isn't it, to have this database of users that you can discuss when you market the service to a dispensary?
Well, that's it. Everybody knows that, as of today, you cannot take, credit cards at the dispensary. So we're trying to solve this problem. And the first step is to actually get the Bitcoin on someone's phone. And then the second step is to have the dispensaries accept Bitcoin. So, it's not an easy thing to do, but we're tackling it. And we feel like we're going to be the front runner on giving cannabis users another way to pay besides cash.
Well, the cannabis industry is certainly exploding. More and more states making it legal either recreationally or medically. You folks are poised to take advantage of that explosion.
Well, the exciting thing is, we came out with this 4 years ago, but the problem at that time is that, Bitcoin was not that popular. Well, now with the explosion of Bitcoin and like you say, cannabis, it's time to allow people to use their Bitcoin to pay for cannabis. So we're very excited about it.
Now, on another subject, Greg, now that you're fully reporting, it's opened the company up to an altogether different status of investors, hasn't it?
Well, as our shareholders were very patient with us. It took us a long time to get fully reporting, but we are fully reporting, and we are getting a lot of attention from a lot of investors. We're able to raise money at a significantly lower discount, and also the terms of the deal are much more in favor of Single Point. So I can't say anything today, but I will say that we're negotiating some large funding deals, and going to be happy to report those as they happen.
Well, this status is also upgrading the quality of your acquisition targets as well.
Well, not just the quality, but the size. And again, unfortunately, I can't talk too much about it, but we have a very exciting company that we're in negotiations to acquire, and it is a large acquisition. And we feel confident that we're going to be able to come up with the funding to close it. So those are the two main things that we're working on. Single Point has done a great job of building out the public company as far as having 30,000 shareholders, and we average between $200,000, $400,000 a day in volume. The one thing that we've been missing that we're going to correct now is with the revenue and the EBITDA. So we have our sights on a great company with very significant EBITDA, and we're going to hopefully be announcing that in the near future.
Single Point Incorporated, SING. Greg, terrific update. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thank you, and go sing.
With us now via Skype from some port of call in the world is Mr. Riggs Eckelberry. He's the CEO of Origin Clear Incorporated. OCLN's a stock symbol. Riggs, where are you?
Well, I could do a travelogue on sunny Aruba if you like.
Well, we'd love to hear it.
Well, actually, it's I'm busy. I'm on a ship that's going to leave for Curacao soon, and I'm doing an executive coaching conference to improve myself, because I can't exactly tell people to do a better job if I'm not working on improving myself too. So in between work, I'm getting seminars and sort of Harold Robbins kind of improvement, and I think it's a good thing.
So what we're going to see next time you're in the studio is the new and improved Riggs Eckelberry.
Yeah, set up the red hot coals next time in the studio.
That's terrific. What are some of the other things you've been doing on this recent trip?
Well, it's been an amazing week. We've gotten some good press coverage on WaterChain. And yesterday, I was day before yesterday, I was in the largest water conference in the world, or at least in America, which is WEFTech. And if you go on our Origin Clear Facebook page, you'll see a picture of me with the rock stars, Dan Early, Bill Charneski. Dan, of course, is the amazing modular water inventor who has got this way of prepackaging wastewater treatment systems. No muss, no fuss. He's kind of like the Henry Ford of water, and you interviewed him a couple months ago. He's doing so much business. He said when he came on board in late June, he was going to give us an exact series of deals, and he has kept to his word exactly. He's an amazing guy. So looks like our Q3 is going to be very good. And but more importantly, Q4 is, I believe, going to be our best quarter, perhaps in our history. So very excited about that. And I spoke while there at the Innovators Forum on blockchain and crypto, which in the water industry, people are very intrigued. They're starting to understand how it could help. And really where it helps is, how do you finance all the smaller decentralized systems that Origin Clear and Modular Water are delivering? So it's very much tied in with our core mission, which is to enable people to treat their own water and recycle it for their own use.
Wonderful. Once again, Origin Clear, OCLN's a stock symbol. Riggs, continue to get new and improved, and we'll see you when you get back to the States.
Yes, sir.
Well, joining us now from Phoenix, Arizona is Regina Revazova. She is the founder of a company called Stockwave. Regina, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Don. I'm glad to be at your show again.
A fascinating company. The website is stockwave.market. Tell us what you do.
We do audio press releases for public companies, for private companies. We've done it for the past year. We had, tremendous response. We work with investor relations firms and do it for their clients. We work with, PR firms. So that's our product, audio press release.
It's very interesting. Of course, there are thousands of press releases issued every day. They're all in text or printed form. You're converting these to audio format in a very pleasant voice, I might add.
Well, that's our goal. My background is with NPR. People that work with me, we all have or still are working for major news outlets, radio news outlets. So the quality is our priority number one. But also, what we're doing, we're tapping into this, additional set of or something that technology today offers. It's great to have your traditional channels to communicate your news as a public or private company, but also I think utilizing things like audio press releases or creating your audio ID strategy for your company is also very important. So that's what we do, that's what we offer.
Well, people are looking at disruptive business models. You're taking a tried and true formula, the printed press release, turning it into audio. It's really disruptive.
Well, yes, and because we do have numbers, Don, we all know that people read less and less. We all know that people listen and watch more and more, right? So there is this untapped or already existing infrastructure that we basically decided to utilize. And after, we started working with a couple of companies like Single Point that, and our services have done tremendously with Single Point. But then we went to, we got another offer to work with another company. And when we saw the growth, and we actually have numbers right now, our audio format has 3 times more downloads than just a regular press release. And it actually lives longer. And, as I said, infrastructure is there. People get notifications about your press release on their phone. We're utilizing what we have and what the market dictates.
Stockwave is the company. Stockwave.market is the website. Fabulous company. Regina, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much, Don. And I also wanted to mention that feel free, if you have a public company, if you have a private company, if you're an IR firm, I'm more than happy to collaborate with you and work with you. So feel free to email me directly at Regina, REGINA, @stockwave.market. Thanks.
Perfect. Thanks so much. We're going to talk about bad airline behavior in this week's Money Wrap radio program. To find a radio station near you or just listen online, go to moneywrap.com. Call us right now toll free from anywhere in the world, 888-259-4449, to receive free information about our featured guests. When you do call, be sure and ask to be added to the subscription list of our MoneyTV newsletter. Again, from anywhere in the world, 888-259-4449. Visit us at moneytv.net. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. That's our show this week. We'll be back next week. Thanks so much for joining us.